The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Danny Chen stepped through the crystalline archway, her boots clicking against the polished floor with deliberate precision. Beside her, Commander Jasper Klein carried a simple metal case, his expression carved from stone. The council had expected groveling, perhaps tears, maybe desperate pleas for mercy. They got none of those things. Representatives of the Galactic Council, Danny began, her voice cutting through the vast chamber like a blade. You summoned Earth to answer for our war crimes against the Zithran Empire. We're here to respond. High Chancellor Vexener, a towering being of translucent blue flesh, leaned forward on his throne. Human Ambassador, your species has violated every principle of civilized warfare. The Zithrans attacked 3 of your colony worlds. 3 you responded by systematically dismantling 47 of theirs. 48 actually, Jasper interjected quietly. The last one fell yesterday. A wave of shocked murmurs rippled through the assembled aliens. Counselor Thress, whose feathered crest turned a shocked crimson, hissed through her translator, "You dare correct the High Chancellor while admitting to further atrocities." Danny's eyes never wavered. Atrocities? Let me tell you about atrocities. The Zithrans didn't just attack our colonies. They glassed them. 3 billion human civilians, families, children turned to ash in 6 hours. War is always tragic, Vexener said, his tone dripping with false sympathy. But, proportion, Ambassador, you could have negotiated. You could have shown mercy to the Zithran civilians when you terror-attacked. We did show mercy, Danny replied coldly. The council chamber erupted in disbelief. Vexener's skin darkened to a deep purple. Mercy, you call genocide mercy? Jasper set the metal case on the presentation platform. It clicked open, projecting a holographic display into the air. These are the evacuation records from every Zithran world we targeted. Total civilian casualties from our military action, 0. Silence. That's impossible, Counselor Thress whispered. Our intelligence shows entire cities destroyed. Empty cities, Danny said. We gave them 72 hours warning. Every single time, we broadcast our intentions, our targets, our exact time of attack. We even provided transport coordinates for evacuation sites. Not a single civilian died by human hands. The hologram shifted, showing massive human ships hovering over Zithran cities, warning sirens blaring, crowds evacuating in orderly streams. But their infrastructure... Vexener stammered. Their industrial capacity, their military installations, their government centers gone, Jasper confirmed. We turned their capacity to wage war to rubble. Their military, dismantled. Their fleet, scrap metal. Their weapons foundries, craters. But we didn't kill their people. We killed their ability to kill ours. Danny took a step forward. You want to talk about civilized warfare? Fine, let's discuss the 17 times in the past century your council has negotiated peace after genocidal attacks. Let's talk about how the Zithrans were allowed to keep 90% of their military after they wiped out the Kelpin species. Let's discuss how your proportional response doctrine means the aggressor always survives to attack. Again the council members shifted uncomfortably. In their seats, humanity learned something. You all seem to have forgotten, Danny continued, her voice rising. Peace isn't just the absence of war. It's the absence of the ability to wage war against the innocent. The Zithrans can rebuild their cities. They can replant their farms. They can raise their children. But they cannot build fleets to glass another world for the next 100 years. This is tyranny, Thress shrieked. You've crippled an entire civilization. No, Jasper said quietly. We've neutralized the threat. There's a difference. Vexener's massive form seemed to deflate. The Council's doctrine of proportional response has maintained galactic peace for millennia, has it? Danny challenged. Or has it just ensured that wars continue at an acceptable rate? That genocide happens slowly enough to ignore. The Kelpin are extinct. The Dravis homeworld is a wasteland. The Torellian people are scattered refugees. All of this happened under your watch, under your rules. She pointed to the holographic display, which now showed human relief ships arriving at Zithran refugee camps, medical supplies being distributed, temporary shelters being erected. We destroyed their war machine, yes, brutally and completely, but we're also feeding their refugees. Our medical teams are treating their wounded. Our engineers are helping them rebuild homes, just not weapons factories. We ended their ability to commit genocide. Your council just gives them a timeout and lets them try again. The chamber fell into stunned silence. Even the ever-present hum of the translation matrix seemed to pause. Finally, Councillor Mercier, who had remained silent throughout, spoke in a gravelly voice. The human approach is ... unprecedented. It's necessary, Danny replied. You called it brutal. Maybe it is, but it's also effective, and it's moral. We won't kill civilians, but we will end wars, permanently. Jasper closed the case with a decisive click. The question isn't whether Earth's response was too harsh. The question is whether your response has ever been harsh enough. Vexena stared at the two humans for a long moment. The council must deliberate on this matter. You do that, Danny said, turning to leave, but know this. Earth won't apologize for saving billions of lives by ending the ability of warmongers to wage genocide. If that makes us brutal in your eyes, we'll wear that label with pride. As the two humans walked toward the exit, the council remained frozen. No one had ever challenged their doctrines so directly. No one had ever made them question whether mercy toward the aggressor was cruelty toward the innocent. The Galactic Council had been left without words, and somewhere in the cosmos, 3 billion dead humans could finally rest in peace, knowing they had been avenged not with bloodlust but with terrible, merciful precision.